Hey Leslie, that was quick. She barely had time to sort out the ordering of my bench, and there you are. You can probably notice that the bench has changed a little bit. Hey Philip, or I should say Philip C. Uh, okay. Don't get my mouse mixed up. Yeah, it looks tidy. I had to add this shelf in. Um, it was a case of I was running out of room and I got the wrong mouse again. There we go. Yeah, I was running out of room. Too many things were getting cluttered up down here, and yeah, just sort of. So I finally bit the bullet. Went out to the shed, the terrifying shed that I don't visit very often, and just pulled out some brackets and shelving and whatnot. Yes, hopefully no more printing schematics or board view files. Uh, so what I've got here at the moment is this just came in today. I haven't been given a very good description as to what's wrong. They just simply said it doesn't work, so I don't know what that means. And as soon as I open it up, you'll probably be able to see this. First thing you'll notice is there's this corner's missing. I can feel the chassis separated out, so we could end up with a complete dud here. G'day, fixing things. Nice to see you all the way from WA. And this is, I think we've got a. Scratch my nose. I think we've got ourselves a dud screen. It's hard to say. Could just be filthy. Which reminds me, I haven't washed my damn hands. Gloves. So looking in here, oh, that's completely ripped off. That's going to be fun. Well, I'd say my first guess is going to be that we've probably got a dead hard drive. It's an Intel i5, and it's a 5200, which makes it the same as the IBM laptop or the Lenovo laptop that I'm using. So 5200, 4 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive. That's probably completely cactus, and a NVIDIA 840. Yeah, I don't know if there's much point recovering this one. I guess we'll see what's going on. So first thing first, let's get some power to it. Always got a complete collection of power bricks. And what's this? People messaging me on my phone. What's this all about? Dun, dun, dun. Right. Sorry about that. Had to check on those things. Could have been a customer saying, I've just dropped my phone in the toilet, can I run around and give it to you at 10 to 12 at night? And I would say, alright, bring it around and I'll charge extra. Definitely got a cracks. Amazing. There's a big black blob here. So that's the first thing. It is actually booting, I'm surprised. Alright. So why is this here? I mean, okay, the screen's complete crap. And let's see. The mouse works. And no one's giving me a password. Great. And I've gone completely black. I've got a backlight going on there, but that's it. Alright. And it's still running off battery. Just hold that down and drown it. Always feels wrong doing that. Oh, g'day Lynn. Didn't see you there. Jabara, Belgium's online. Trump has left the building. Oh good, now you can all sleep peacefully. We're going to try and boot into Ubuntu and see if I can get some life. I can never remember. I think it's F12 on these. What's going on? I've really got nothing. Okay, the battery doesn't last very long. Let's try that again. F12, escape, delete, F2. Gotta try them all because new screen, new top bezels. Yeah, I'd say definitely a new screen. Okay, do anyone remember what the Acer bar centric key is? Because it's not responding. If the hard drive is still intact on this, then I'd have to say that it was dropped while it was turned off. F9, F10, escape, F9, F10, delete. Now it's, oh great, I pushed it too far. Oh well. Do I stock parts for these? I do stock the screens because these are just 15.6-inch gloss screens, and there's only about, well, there's a few different varieties. You have your 40 pin, your 30 pin. Usually you only see the 30 pin on the slimline versions. But yeah, the slimline usually comes in 30 and 40 pin version, but the standard thick, that usually comes in only in 40 pin. Yeah, I tried F2. One dual and one single, so yes, that's correct. It's a triple power supply. That's, you're not going to quite see that. But yeah, this one here is 5 volt output. PC did not start correctly. Oh, shame. Well, that's okay. We'll go to advanced options, troubleshoot. Advanced options, I love that. UEFI firmware. Alright. Hopefully once I'm in the firmware I'll be able to tell it to. It is the E5-571 PG 51VF. It's a Core i5 5200, so it's the same processor as what I'm using to do all this video recording and encoding. Yeah, it could be a dead keyboard though. No, keyboard's alive. Well, here we go. I was right, it was F12, but it's been disabled. So we'll enable that. Touchpad, advanced. Secure boot, password on boot. Boot mode, UEFI, we want legacy please. Alright. Now we might have some success. Ah, gross. Pound it. I used to like it when if you pressed it more than enough times, eventually it would start beeping at you to sort of say, the keyboard buffer is full, we've got your message, just please wait. Kitchen open, I hope so. I will probably either end up with a delicious berry smoothie tonight or egg on toast. Or nothing. That's the other option. I can end up with nothing. I'm really curious as to what's caused all these defects around the screen. I can only imagine it was rigorously shaken or something like that, and yeah. I don't normally see this sort of defect. Normally if you crumple the corners you'll get that, but the glass is perfectly intact. Alright, let's bring up, so large, you want huge. There you go, huge font. You're still not going to be able to read that anyway. Rescue VFX0, display the data. To null 2017-05-26 Acer.log. Permission to not. No. Let's see how this hard drive goes. Yeah, interesting, Leslie. Okay, F2 enter. I tried F2 and it didn't want to oblige, but maybe it only took the first character that I pressed on the keyboard and it wasn't F2. So I'm gonna have to sit here and see what this hard drive does. I'll bring up the temperatures. One of these has to be the NVIDIA chipset. Yeah, maybe something heavy was left on it. It's hard to say. I've got a feeling it might be some sort of crushing. You're not be able to see this properly, but in here, yeah. Let's see. I'll unpeg the webcam and drag it in. Have a look. Let's see. Can you focus? Unfortunately, the focus is unpredictable at best. I'll put my finger near it. Come on. Anyway, you may be able to see it. There's a degree of bending, deformation going on in this area here. So, but I can't. There's a tiny bit of. Now this is just not working. I'm going to put it back up to where it belongs. Yeah, there's a tiny bit of deforming on the outer plastic chassis. So maybe it was sort of crushed from corners. What does DD Rescue do to the hard drive? Philip, it basically is running through and it's reading everything it can off the hard drive bit by bit. And the way I run it, it will exit as soon as it gets a single read failure, and then at least that way straight away it stops accessing the drive, and because it's alerted me that there's a failure, I can then just take it out and put it into the recovery server and start the process of properly recovering the data. G'day Marwave and Iki and Patrick Gill. Yes, it is DD Rescue. Oh, g'day Hi217. Didn't realise you snuck in there. And Mike, wipe that. Yeah, it does. Which reminds me, thank you very much, Mike. I will be right back. I'm going to go and wash my hands and then glove them up because, yeah, that was a mistake I made. I'll just make sure I don't touch the keyboard in the meantime. Although now I've got to touch the gloves. Let's see. Due to the dent, the LCD foil has been damaged. Yeah. Specific damage drives. Yeah, DD Rescue is one of those really nice tools that it's open source. You can get it. It's down in my descriptions. You can find the link to it. It's available on most distributions already as a package, but I use one of the more recent versions, which I think is 122, something like that. Yeah, 122. There is a 123 release candidate that's coming out, but it's very handy. I would not be without it. I make a lot of money using it. Subsequently, I donate quite a bit of money to the author of it. Have I got DD Rescue View? No. There's a companion program that someone else has written that you can put in there. It's called DD Rescue View. It does a nice graphical representation of the log file that it's reading. I need to actually install that. Oops. Right, of course. I don't have any internet access. Yeah, the hum, if it's not a fan or anything, probably when I touch this light, it should pick up a bit. There's no fan running at the moment that I can see. This thing is having issues with the Wi-Fi. It rejected the Wi-Fi. Why? There's all... Nope. Oh well. It's okay. I should just use this in the first place. Okay. Yeah, as far as I know, specifically is the light. That's the big culprit here. It could be other things, but as soon as I get some better decoupling capacitors for that light, I really hope it cuts that hum down. I could try put a filter in on the audio circuit, but yeah, I don't like my chances of doing that without botching it up. Okay, I'm just installing DD Rescue View. Yeah, I could put a high pass filter in. I only need to do 50 Hertz here in Australia. That's what we run. What? Error. Could not resolve. Oh my lord. Why could you not resolve? Let's put in Google's DNS servers. Okay. Hello, Amy. Nice to see you. It was only bad when you laid down the mic and oh, okay, that might make sense. It was right next to here. There's no exhaust fan here, but maybe one of these devices is emitting it. Yeah, I strongly suspect the lamp is the primary culprit. Like I said, as soon as I turn on my hot air or my soldering iron, the lamp goes for a bit of a upset. Oh, what's going on here? Hang on. Mm-hmm. Now you can probably hear the dogs barking, and the dogs in this neighborhood just bark, 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 bark. That's all they do. Uh, It's just they never shut up. Even at 3, 4 in the morning, they just carry on. Drives me mad. Let's not talk about the hum. I could always hum. So far, this disk is running okay. We're up to 70 gigs. We're averaging 105 megabyte a second. It's not to say that it's not going to fail. I have had more than enough drives get to 80% or more before they actually hit a failure point. And if you get one bad sector on these, then that's it, you change them. Shotgun comes out, yeah. For the computer, not for the dogs. Every neighbour around me has a dog, and we have cats running around, yeah. Yeah, well, we've got the 3 cats, and they're always in the enclosures. They're actually locked inside right now. One of them's sitting outside my door waiting for me to get some attention. But there's obviously plenty of other cats in the neighbourhood, or possums, wallabies, things like that running around. It just sends the dogs nuts. And of course, nobody gets up to check what the dogs are barking at. And yet, the next day, when you check the community group around here on Facebook, you have people say, "My house was broken into," or something like that. And it's like, well, you don't check to see why your dogs are barking, do you? So, there was some software before to tell the drive to ignore the damage. Well, Philip, see, you can map bad sectors out, but there's really not much point because these drives do always develop bad sectors just as part of their life, and they have an allocation lot set aside so that they can remap sectors internally as they wear out some dud ones. But eventually that allocated area runs out, and you start getting to the point where there is something genuinely causing issues with the drive, like maybe something flaked off, or you got just a defect in the platter substrate, or it's been hit. So if you get to the point where the drive is reporting bad sectors, it's time to say goodbye. In the old days, like the 20 megabyte S, what was it? Oh, touched my, damn it. Then, you could often remap them and live a bit longer. But these modern drives, no. Yeah, MKME Lab. Amy, I'm holding out on mods for the moment. I'm going to wait another couple of days. Don't you know the rule? If you ask, you don't get it. That's the unspoken rule of the internet. Handy parts. I remember the days of MFM drives. That was fun. Yeah, it was fun in its own way, wasn't it? But I'm glad it's over. I remember always looking longingly at the RLL drives, which were usually 40 megabyte at that stage. The only thing I miss about them is the sound of them spinning up. Like you'd wake up in the morning, you'd do your routines, and you'd flick up that big blade switch on the side of the XT case, and then just hear everything go, and then go off and have a coffee and do whatever while you wait for your auto execute bat file. Do they just want the data? Fixing things, no. It's just come in saying it doesn't work, which of course we know means anything. And in this case, it would seem probably the hard drive's fine, probably everything's fine. It could just be the display. So I think at this point, given that it's taken a hit, normally if they take a hit that's severe, that we've got all this damage here, if the hard drive was damaged, it would be showing it typically by now. Yeah, physical damage shows up on a drive almost straight away because you're damaging the heads. Low level format to see how much storage you can get out. Oh yeah, Leslie. Or when you would change the sector interleave so that the next sector logically was the one that you wanted, and it was already under the head just in time. I remember low-level formatting with that. I can't remember the program's name now, but yeah, it lets you shift the sectors around. You'll need to ask customer. Yeah, Leslie, there's you can't post anything educational. No. Wrong. You pressed the wrong key. Here you go. I'll be watching you like a hawk. Let's see. Okay, I don't have. Just escape on that. I accidentally pressed the wrong thing because I thought I was holding onto the other mouse. I can now check to see what my customer wanted. What doesn't help is this has come through 2 or 3 different hands. So it's from the person to someone who handed it off to someone else who's now handed it off to me. Oops. Nope. Okay, where is Pepe? Yeah, I don't do the Pepe thing. I'm not much into the whole memes world. I know. I'm not really with it. Okay, Pianov. Hard drive work up to 1,000, 1,500 sectors most of the time. Speaking of experience, after that you'll probably lose your data though. Yeah. PMIC function diagram. Why? What's the PMIC function diagram for? Is that going to be for a phone? Oh god, I remember that too. G equals C805. What did that do? That was in debug. Yeah, go to C800. Yeah. Memories. Horrible, gross memories. Well, the temperatures in this are fine too, so I'm gonna, for this point, shut this down and I'm gonna have a look at that screen, because most likely it's just gonna be a screen job. I will caution the person that due to the damage they should strongly consider replacing their drive at some point. Oh, that was loud. Uncalled for. Shut down. I don't think it was spin right. Then again, who knows? It was, like I said, that long ago that. I mean, that's talking like 30 years now almost. Yeah, it'd be 30 years. Okay, I'm just having a look at Amy's thing. Oh, it's a Texas Instrument PMIC. Okay, this is for the iPhones, I'm presuming, Amy. Alright. Alright. Let's crack open this screen and have a look what's inside. Now, unfortunately for you guys, I'm left-handed, which means you're not going to really see much of the action until I've got the bezel off. And it's one of these bezels that are really tight, which means it's probably a slimline. Yep. And where is my spudger? Goddamn oh, there it is. Now I'm only using this spudger on this because it's a dud screen anyway, and push come to shove I'll just swap it with one of my others. Damn, this is really actually... I hope they haven't glued this. I will say this is the pain of doing PC laptops. So every damn laptop is different. Yeah, no, believe me, but I'm the kind of guy using hard drives, standing on the side. If they click, oh man, oh yeah, this definitely. I could. In this corner here, it's nicely squared off from compression fault. Okay, since that's already damaged in that area, I can sort of. Best thing to do first is take that hard drive out. I mean the battery out. Brain not working tonight. That hard drive's gonna have to stay in there. Hello. We got a screw missing. We've got several screws missing. Holy crap, we've got a heap of screws missing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm guessing they came out with the fault. And it's split along here. So, oh well. At least it has opened up a access for me here. I'll have to go after that corner. Don't paste up my work. Also, laptop screw heads that are made of cheese and glue. Speaking of Jamie, I found a really nice reference schematic for ATX power supplies today. I was quite happy with it. Most of them look like they've been just recycled from the 1970s or 1980s, but this one was particularly clear and concise without too much excess drivel. The downside is it wasn't using the TL949, so, or is it the 494, whatever. It was using the, I think it was the IS4061 or something like that. You'll know. You lucky sod, my only brain. Alright. Typical that on the night I stream with screen, what's got me confused here is you can't see it, but there is about a 5mm inlay border. just over here. I can see it the whole way. I haven't seen that before. I mean, I go through a fair number of screens each week, but I haven't seen one of those. So has anyone else seen that before? See if I can get it to show up on the camera. You can just sort of see it a bit now and then. It's sort of like about a 5mm inset. ZX, basically it's come in, they said don't work, but it does work, but we've got a really odd screen failure. It's sort of a crushing failure, and I'm having a devil of a time getting the bloody thing off. Most of you who have done screen replacements know normally you just slip a spudger down the front and guide it across, and off comes your bezel. This one's got different ideas about that. I may have to resort to asking the internet, which is highly embarrassing. I mean, how could I? I mean, how unprofessional. I should just know everything straight off. Fixing. Oh, yes. Yeah, Leslie, that's right. I've never seen it before. I mean, yeah, nothing a hammer can't solve, I agree. It's bizarre. I thought at first it might have been a touch screen, but it's not. And it feels original. I don't think it's what am I thinking? I don't think it's a third-party one, and if it is a third-party one, they did a really good job of putting this bezel back on to the point where it looks factory. Sometimes the screws undercover. Yeah, I was expecting the screws here. There's nothing, because that's usually the first thing I go for. Like, I can't. This spudger gets through my iPhone 5S's, all that sort of stuff. It'll bite through it, no worries. And it's not getting through this. I don't want to apply heat, because you can bet your boots if I apply heat, and see I'm already chafing up the bezel. I'm gonna have to Google this one. I don't want to sit here and hack away at it only to find out there was a simple, easy way to do it. Let's see what YouTube can offer me. This will be the first time I have constructively used. Am I using my screen up here? So, like, I'll show you guys. It's all set up. My hot air station's soldering on down there. Make sure I haven't put the. Nah, that should do it. Yep. Yeah, a small pen knife. I mean, I've got my usual sort of X-Acto number 11s here, but I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm going to take the safe road and try it. E5-571 PG. That should about do it. PG screen, bezel, removal. And I can't spell removal. Seems like an average removal. Yeah. And why is it so 571? I got 561s, 571s. From the other video, it shows that the bezel only clips. I wonder if someone glued it.
Right now at Macca's you can
Oh
get a
my
cheeseburger
god.
small.
Wow, I did not need that volume attack. Come on, preload. I hate it with YouTube when you want to just find what you're looking for in a video, but it won't give you the thumbnail version as you drag across the... Oh, here we go, now it's loading. What the hell? You just gone straight into it? Yeah, Dravara, I'm looking at it now. They just went straight into it, just like I would a normal one. Ah. Okay, now I feel like an idiot. Alright. That's it. Sometimes just knowing that it is... Yeah, I know, hi, that was really loud. Hurt my ears. You block Origin for ads. I tend to leave my ads on for when I watch the likes of, say, Lewis and whatnot. I like to give a bit of monetary return for that chap. God damn. Seriously, this tip of this thing is ultra fine, and it's got to be a weak point around here. Somewhere where the bastards didn't fully glue the bloody thing. No. Yeah, Drabar, I'd like to see him try to do this one with their fingers. Mayua, it just came in as dead, but it seems to be alive, so I'm suspecting the definition of dead means there's issues on my screen. My screen doesn't display 100% perfect, and therefore it is dead. How the hell did that SOB get into it, honestly? Okay, I don't want to, but I'm gonna go get the X-Acto blade. Alright. Bring out the Dremel. Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, I'll show you my Dremel. This here's my Dremel. Quite like this one because it's cordless and it works really well. So. Just kidding. I'm not going to do that. Hammer and a flat screwdriver would have worked perfectly. Yes, it would have. Sometimes you have to use brute force to... Yeah, start in the middle. Oh wait, Amy, are you talking like truthfully, as in with the X-Acto, or are you meaning with the Dremel? Okay, just bitten through. It does feel like it's got two-sided tape in it. Yeah, it's two-sided tape. Now it's come clean, clear off. In before blood everywhere. Yeah, don't you dare. I have given enough blood to the PC gods over my life. Back in the... No, it still happens these days. where you get god-awful cases. Those ones where they've just used pressed metal and they don't roll the edge. Way too much blood from those damn things. Okay, this thing keeps sealing back up real quick. I might have to use a bit of heat, but very little. Okay, this is probably going to upset everything. Reworking, we're going to go for, I'm just going to go 100 degrees. Yeah, probably going to get plenty of hum on this. Scaring me with your finger under that knife, yeah. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I'd be scared too. Yeah, okay. This is probably close to hairdryer temperature. What I'm worried about is catching the cable, and I don't want to do that obviously. Definitely two-sided tape. Well, I'll give them credit, they did a really good job with that tape. Fortunately, I've got plenty of it too. Yeah, well, I won't be reusing this LCD. Now, that tape is going to want more temperature than what I'm willing to put on this. So I'm just going to keep cutting through with the spudger now that I've got. I don't know if any of you have seen one of my previous videos when I was repairing a Western Digital enclosure hard drive that had a broken encrypted controller. Stabbed myself with these damn things real good. Yep, something cracked, that's it. LCD's dead, well and truly now. Dip spudger and acetone, that's actually not a bad idea though. The spudger itself would probably then become a victim of the acetone. Yeah, maybe I won't, because the other night, fuck, sorry, this LCD is cracking like mad. They did not intend for this. Whoever made that video showing that LCD coming off, I'd say that they took that off first and then put the bezel back on and then did the video. Because this is so tight. Yeah, Mike, exactly. This is a pain job now. Hopefully not my pain, but still a pain. Feckin' heck. Alright, let's try 140. Hopefully that's just a little bit below the plastic phase of the bezel. Do not want to have to buy another bezel. Leslie Monroe. The worst thing I ever had was bits of metal braiding from joining 96 CCTV cables into a bit. Oh, gross. Yeah, you're gonna have that one, Leslie. No, thank you. I'm assuming you're talking about the shielding braid. Charge double, yeah, I wish. Yes, one of those tutorials where they've faked the... because this... yeah. Bloody thing's moving around too. So I'm sitting on 130 degrees, or 130 centigrade. That tape should be softening up. Okay, so you're pulling out the strains for weeks. Ah, dreadful. And, fixing things for you. That happens a lot with iPhone repairs on micro soldering. Oh wow, that iPhone Wi-Fi IC came up so easy. That's because it's already been lifted. Yeah, exactly. It'd be nice if they said, this has actually been done before. When you do this on an original job, it's going to be a nightmare. Yeah, thanks for that, Mike. Unfortunately, pulling in stuff from the US is probably the last thing I want to do right now. Let's see if this has softened up much. At least at 130 degrees, I'm not going to far out. That's it. I'm ruining this. I might have to. I've completely damaged that now. Fucked it up. I'm gonna have to find a. I'm gonna have to find a spare one of these and get a whole bezel replacement. God damn it. I can't give it back to the customer like this. It's like bloody glue. Yes, Mike in Australia. It's typical, yeah. The first LCD display that I put on Livestream, and the bastard is glued together. Pretty much, anyway. That's not even remotely realistic. What model number? It's a. Now I'm reading upside down. E5-571PG. That should be enough. 15.6 inch, obviously. It's not even budging on that. Okay, let's go up. I'm just cooking the metal. Mike, no, it's not a touchscreen. I better bloody well hope it's not. It certainly doesn't say it's a touchscreen anywhere. Because if it is, I've just lost all my money. Yeah, 15 touch series. Oh shit, it is. God damn it. Well, the screen was broken in the first place anyway, but yeah. Knew I shouldn't have done this one. Oh well. Yeah, not getting into this at all. I'm genuinely going to hurt myself. I got through. There's no way anyone would be able to get this bezel off without breaking that. Not realistically. Thanks, Trey. You're about 10 minutes too late on that one. Lynn, I guess I will have to go to the US for that one then. $80, I can tolerate that. Is it possible to put a normal, yeah, probably isn't. No. Is it possible to put a normal 15.6 in here without touch? I should have known with that 5mm oddity around the edge that it was touch, but no. This is a good example of, I'm sure plenty of you have experienced this, where you notice some oddity and something in the back of your head starts screaming and you ignore it. And then you find out later why. Well done. Good screw up. Well, you know when everyone asks Lewis Rossman, so like if he's ever done something that cost him a lot of money or something like that? Yeah, well, here you go. Here's one from me. God damn it, it just fractures like a bastard everywhere. Brute force is a brute. What the? Yeah, well, the non-touch ones I can get anyway, so it's not a problem. The touch is the issue. As soon as you let this stuff, this adhesive, touch the glass again, bam, it's straight on again. I'm just looking at the over here. Just trying a different strategy. Oh, for fuck's sake. There we go. Fucking hell. Alright. And it has to be on Livestream, hey? My biggest screw up of the week, at least, for sure. It's on bloody Livestream. Hope you're all happy with yourselves. So normally, the reason why I don't take them off this way is because obviously, as you may see, yeah, you can see the metal hinges and everything in there, so you still end up having to get that bastard out. Stray, I tell you, man, I wish you'd been there 10 minutes earlier. Could have saved me. Now I've got the dreaded, oh god, what have I done feeling. Lin, yeah, it's probably the 3M stuff. I use that in my phone repairs and it definitely sticks well. Just bought myself a roll of 5mm stuff. And I've also got the 1 and the 3mm as well. Well, from what I can see, the panel itself, what have we got? I was hoping we'd have a separate cable up to the crap. No, well, no wonder I couldn't get the front off. It looks like it's probably going to be a complete single unit screwed in up there. It's how you learn. Yeah, you know, I spend a lot of time trying to learn not to make mistakes, and you still make them. Particularly nice ones like this. Alright, here we go. Come on, 1 or 2 more. And we're clear. Flatten out, lift LC straight up, might be hidden screws in the bezel where the hinges are. It's okay, we're loose anyway. And now just push that. There we go. God, what a nightmare. Good thing I'm not a surgeon, eh? I'd be like Zoidberg. Oh, this one's dead. And looks like it's an integrated touch. God, what a nightmare. What next? What next? Bloody hell. Next one way easier. Yeah. And when does that happen? The next one. Come on. That's the joy of the PC world, isn't it? This will probably be the only one I ever encounter. And you know it's true. There we go. My guess is that's going to be pretty close to a full bezel replacement. Alright, so do I take the risk and plug this into another screen? I have a horrible feeling I shouldn't. What's the verdict? I'm cringing over here, yes, I know. Believe me, I'm cringing here too. I mean, at least the screen was stuffed, but it wasn't that stuffed. Well, at least I got a model number here so I can see if I can access replacement for it. Hammer time. Looks like a place in New Jersey offers free shipping to Australia, claims to be $90. Yeah, that's ZX8, yeah, I mean obviously I can output to another port. It does work, it was working before, it's just the screen had, pardon me, damage all around. I'm just going to check my screen type first, which is exactly what Mike just said. Let's see, B156. At least the B156 numbering is something I know. TT. So that'll be touch. Yeah. 01.1. So no. Why? But this is hilarious. I'm obviously streaming and everybody's getting this, but my internet seems down. And yet that just worked. Thanks, fixing things. $93. Oh, that's cheap as. I'm gonna see if my normal is a. Yeah, I'm not gonna word that, but it's a 30 pin as usual, which means I can't do anything else now because everything I've got left in stock at the moment are 40 pins. So I've got about 6 screens, and they're all 40 pinners. E5-571 PG series, yeah. I'm just going to check my usual supplier, Broadway Electronics. Ah, good. Because this is a new machine, new laptop setup, I haven't brought across all my usual contacts and whatnot. I don't know if Google's having issues or what, but I'm really having a hard time getting things. The domain name server seems to be up the creek. Okay. Screen. Philip, see, does it keep it watertight? Well, I'll tell you what, if they didn't intend to make it watertight, it was still plummin' tight. I couldn't get a blade into that, not realistically. Yeah, fixing things, that's right. Okay, well, it looks like they're in Australia for $150, $160, so it's not too bad. Could certainly be a lot worse. Let me just switch you guys over. Capture device. Let's see if this works. Boom, boom. Nope, it did not. Let's try this. Sorry, I'm gonna just try scene switch. Oh, well, that'll work. There we go. There, so like I can recognize APAC. I know. Yeah, it's an integrated unit. The so I mean, normally I know what you mean. The touch tends to be a separate thing, but this is an integrated all into the one panel, and it's being fed through the one connector, unfortunately. Which is why it's more expensive, because normally these panels you get them for $80, $70, but this one's double the price, which will be because of that. Alright, something's screwing with my domain name server here. Who the hell's Mum? Hi, who is Mum? Yeah, that's right, Lynn. Yeah, when you get that specific model, that's the one that is integrated in. And as we can see, that's it here. Okay. So I will purchase that particular one, and I will eat the loss. I mean, it won't be a huge loss, but I certainly won't be making a lot of money out of this job. That's the way it goes. You don't always want to learn this way, and you especially don't want to learn when it's on flipping live feed. Unbelievable. Yeah, this is the mob that I use for a lot of my stuff here in Australia. I find them to be exceptionally good. The prices are good, and they deliver overnight almost every single time. The only time they haven't is when the courier themselves stuffed up, and I forgot to let a T out of that. Yeah, Mike, it was bad in the first place. I agree. I just feel bad about it. It's one thing to do that to an already smashed screen, but then to take a partially working screen and completely, yeah, feels bad, man. Where's my Pepe now? I'm just seeing if these guys. Oh, here we go. They've got it. Brilliant. Perfect. Great. I'll get one of those on Monday, and yeah, it'll be alright. As you can see, overnight shipping, which is pretty amazing because these guys are in Melbourne, which is about 2,500 kilometres south of me, and I live in a rural town, and they still manage to get it to me overnight, and it can be as late as about 4 o'clock in the afternoon that I order, and they still get it to me. It's fantastic. Fixing things, I won't take a complete loss, but it'll be less margin than what I was hoping for. Yeah, need replacing. I guess the other thing is I feel bad about the fact that it caught me out, even though the warning signs were there. Um, we saw that 5mm bordering, and I even mentioned, I think, I said, I've only ever seen this on touch things before, and it still didn't twig in the head. That's what happens when you're on YouTube. You lose quite a lot of that extra thinking capacity that keeps you out of these problems. Let's see. How did you know that it wasn't the screen that was dead? It's not your fault. Well, ZX, what happened is, if you scroll back later when the stream's finished or whatever, I got a cough. Hang on. Wait, I just realised I got a mute here. Did that mute even work? Around the edges, the outer edges of the display, there was beginning of failures happening there. Oh, I was wondering what my light was flickering. Turn off my hot air. And there was a bit of a black bleed from the bottom right hand corner, like you see when you crack your iPhone screens and things, that it was starting to bleed up. So yeah, Leslie, we're a distraction. Yes, you are. And as Mike says, it is late at night, so yeah. So anyway, well, at least we know that the disk drive is working. So it's not a complete write-off. It's a little more expensive. I will probably end up charging. It'll work at about 250 for this if I charge them properly. So I'll make about 100 margin, which covers my labour, and you know that's pretty normal margin that I put on top of these sort of things. It seems a bit excessive when you think maybe if it was a normal screen you can flip those things out in 15 minutes, but I've found over the years that you have to keep a fair bit of padding. Yeah, if you run on your ideal optimistic uh, costs, then you will just go under straight away. Okay, not straight away, another year or so, and you'll go under. Mute mostly worked. Okay, still heard a little. Well, actually, no, the webcam should have picked that up pretty good if it was that. So I'm not sure why the mute didn't work fully. I guess maybe they should call it a partial mute. Interesting. The good thing I tested that, because otherwise I might have said something thinking it was completely off. Whew, lucky. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's probably because it's late at night, but 1 o'clock in the morning. You know what it's like. Emotions sometimes get the better of you. That bezel's still going to bug me because it's got chafing marks on it now. There are ways I can clean those up. You have to be really careful, but you can use very small amounts of acetone and it will melt the plastic back a little bit, and you can clean up some of the chippings out of the corner. But you have to be really careful. That acetone, you need something to neutralize it as soon as you've done what you need to, otherwise it'll keep going. Please help Paul Daniels and like his video and subscribe to help out. Yeah. Mike, where are you? You're in the United States or UK or something? I'm taking my gloves off now. I'll put this screen off to the side. There's nothing more I can do tonight. I do have 2 more jobs I've got to do, so, and even though it's almost winter here, I'm already sweated up way too much in these gloves. I find after every job I have to switch them out. Okay, CryJ2000, it's okay. We've got 2 more jobs to do. They're not computer jobs, but there's still 2 jobs. US, Michigan. Okay. So in the US, you guys, it's funny, you're more expensive in some ways and you're cheaper in other ways. Like here, our housing costs about 2 to 3 times more than what yours does, but then our medical insurance is pretty much free. I pay about $50 a month for slightly enhanced cover, but yeah, nothing like what you guys do. Small town, hard to charge a decent price. I know what you mean, Mike. I'm just putting this I'm just gonna go put this laptop away. Okay, it won't be a second. Sorry about that. You may have noticed I've also put my power board in a sensible place now, instead of hanging off the edge and falling every time I moved. Yeah, exactly. And then, Lynn, we have, in terms of medical, we have it very good here in Australia. If it was a, yeah, Lewis would go nuts because it's a socialist type policy, but it does work, at least here in Australia. I think the big problem that comes about when comparing things between two continents like this is that Australia is extremely um, sparsely populated. So we don't have the population density to handle the infrastructure requirements using normal sort of competition and whatnot. So we have a lot more things that are socialised or through the government in order to be able to cope. Oh, whoa, people donating money. Thank you, Leslie. £5. I love saying quid. Is a wee thank you for your streams. Yeah. I'm not going to try and do a Scottish accent because unfortunately I'll most likely offend you and end up somehow as an Irish person, or worse, an Indian. Uh, my wife can do Irish perfectly well, but sorry, Scottish perfectly well, but not me. Thank you, fixing things. I'll have to send that back to you. You're going to put interest on that. Okay. Alright, I'm going to go back to the full display so you can see what I'm doing. So you're going to lose your chat. Da, 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 da. That's it? Yep, that's good. Alright. Uche the new. The only one I'll be knowing is the whale oil beef something. Whale oil beef fucked. Yeah. Not very good. Okay, so I've got an iPhone 5 here. Just an original. I can feel it's probably got a puffy battery. iPhone 5, see if can be fixed. Well, it's taking charge. I don't recall seeing it show anything. Nothing showing, which isn't a big surprise. Daniel Graves, I live in the South USA. Everyone here is unhealthy and overweight, so of course healthcare is god awful. It's probably the system being drained to the very last bit of blood. I don't know why I've got like a tickling hair sensation on the nose. I hate it when that happens. Okay, so here we go for a new set of gloves. Mike Lezan is something not to do it. Yeah, that's true. It's probably saved you a bit there, hasn't it? I guess we've all got to be pioneers at some point. The charge rate's really low. Let's see if that shows up. 270 milliamp hour. Milliamp. I don't know why I keep saying amp hour when I know it's not that. I know damn well it's not that, but the brain does its own thing. So let's crack this open and see what we've got hiding in here. And we've got no screws in the bottom. It's just, they're just holes. Great. Good start. I like it like this. At least when it's like this, I know I'm not going to be to blame for anything dreadful that's going on inside. Where's my spudges gone? Oh, you are seriously mangled. I need a new one. Means I have to get out of the chair. I'm not doing that. There we go. No, still got something holding it back. Okay, battery's fine. We got water damage. Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's probably a good thing to just write this one off. Let's have a look here. Okay, so you can see that, and you can see its little companion there. So, good start. Let's have a look how bad it is. Anyone want to anyone want to put bets on this screw not coming out because it's rusted like it is? It's probably going to just crumble away. It's usually from. Yeah, I mean, I expect one to rattle out, but not both. I strongly suspect this has been open prior to it getting to me because I wanted to check something and they didn't bother putting it in. 8 a.m. and the cats are in my face. Where the hell's breakfast, Dad? Yeah. Just ordered 100 sponges. Yeah, I've got a bag of about 25 around here, Mike, but I've put them in a safe place. I guess I better find them one day. Time to get the ultrasonic out. Yes, that's very good. And that's free spinning already in there. Oh, jeez. I'm not even going to care about the fact that's pulling on those leads. Uh, free spinner, and it's a golly, it's a countersunk one too. Okay, I need to get myself one of those extractor screwdrivers, and they have like tungsten carbide ultra sharp tips on the top of them, so really they're just sort of diving into the screw head and you can drive it out like that. The B7, oh yeah, what are you using the B7000 for, fixing things? That stuff can be real nasty and hard to get rid of after you put it down. I think I'm just, yeah, that's hooked. Thank you, Patrick, $5 for LCD. I should write your names all on the back of it, and so when it's installed, no one else will know, but you guys will know. Mike says, I just got my ultrasonic yesterday, but I forgot to order any solution. Oh, that's a nuisance. Just don't go and use isopropylene alcohol as your solution. I know some people do it. I just get the heebie-jeebies at the idea of that. So I can just half expecting to see on the news someone's place just spontaneously go and pop because of the vapor. When I use the B7000, use it lightly and still use the make sure you put a lightweight on or rubber bands work. Oh, right, yeah. Mike, what solution did you end up getting? Oh, and what brand ultrasonic cleaner did you get? Was it a Crest one from Lewis? I've got a modified flat tip screwdriver which I might drive into there. Otherwise, would you believe it, we could probably use the Dremel. Yes, the Dremel. Yeah, Mr. Bond. Yeah. Oh. Fixing things, where do... Yeah, I agree, Amy. It is 99% likely FUBARD. Fixing things, where'd you get your B7000 from? Because this tube I got, it was not like rubber, credit card rubber stuff. It was god awful. It was more like sort of cross between polyurethane and something else. It went hard and it just gripped onto everything and I couldn't get it off easy. Oh, right. So you did get a crest from Lewis. Impressive. Okay. So you get in the Branson fluid, are you? Awesome. We don't have access, or at least I don't think we have access to the Branson fluid here, but there is another one I use which I'm quite happy with. Fixing things, did you get the same mix that I did? Yeah, I probably should try the flat screwdriver before I go in for the Dremel. Oops, someone else is messaging me. No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. After a while, I didn't mind my James Bond, but after a while, the fact that the enemy, the bad guy, would always walk away before making sure Mr. Bond was dead, it was just too much for me. I was like, oh, come on. Didn't any of you idiots watch what happened to the previous guys that tried to take over the world and realize that they all failed like that? Sent you an MSN as well. Oh, right. Yeah, well, I just got that. That was the phone beeping just before. Because I'm going in with the Dremel, the flathead screwdriver did not work. Yeah, this may be a little loud. Jaws always survived. Even the last one I saw him in was that. What was it? The one where they went into space. Was it Vienna or something like that? What the hell? Is this the. What the hell? Okay, that laptop that we just were working on. This is. Pretty sure this is a battery pack from it. And I just noticed these little thing. Can you see that? That mark there, and that mark there. Someone was trying to get into it using a screwdriver to lever the battery out. What the hell? Moonraker, thank you very much, Stray. 2 internet points to you. Philip C, yes, removing the iCloud, Jester style. He's further up still. Yeah, Moonraker was one that I didn't mind. At least when I was 12 or whatever, how old I was. But then I also didn't mind. And look at that, we're free. But you know what actually got us out of the fix here is it wasn't that I cut a groove in or anything. It was the vibrations breaking the corrosion off. Yeah. Oh wow, yeah. Let's. There we go. Well, the marker's certainly well and truly gone on that. At least now I can get the screen off. Now the person has said they don't want data on this, so realistically at this point I should now simply say "'tis fucked" and walk away from it. But I want to dig around and waste time. What are we? It's 1:30 in the morning here. I should go and put my food order in. I think I will go for a nice berry smoothie tonight. Not that I really get a choice, I'm just dreaming. It's whatever I am fortunate enough to have my wife conjure up for me. The spudger sucks balls. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think this one's gonna come. I mean, that's... Oh, for God's sake, man. That's the corrosion. Okay, I'm gonna have to do it the other way because my fat face is in the way. So that's pretty bad. Which of course means that the circuit board is distinctly worse. Focus. Please don't make me have to say it the Ave style. Oh well, you can see it's a wreck. Now you know where the screws went. Yeah, that's true. Maybe that's how they messed up the screen. Yeah, it's possible, Mike. Now that you mention it, because they would have had it on they would have had it on its back, and they would have been levering in like that. So yeah, you make a good point there. Thank you for pointing that out. I find it hard to watch left-handed people. Anyone else think that way? Actually, I've just got everything on mirror. I'm really right-handed. You just think I'm left-handed. Amy says, idiots with tools. Yeah, well, Amy, I broke that screen even more and messed up the bezel, so I guess I'm an idiot with tools right now. Tis full. Yes, focus your fac. There's a bugger. Yep, it's buggered. Don't waste your time on it. Likewise, I agree. Now, the Dremel is... Yep, it's the 8050. So, yeah, I should put that in my... Yeah, I don't know why I bother with the autofocus on this thing. It never works. Should just put it under a microscope. I bought this a couple of years ago now, I think for a birthday present for myself. And I'm very glad I did. It's I've had a few Dremels in the past and a few generic ones, and they've always been the corded version. And when I saw this one, I knew it was for me. It was yeah, it's got plenty of power, but it's compact. The charging dock makes it really easy. I just leave it in the charging dock, and whenever I want it, it's ready to go. And it takes the normal collet size, so everything works. Alright, I might just leave that bit in there. The phone while I hear Bugs saying, "What's up, Doc?" Oh dear. So, the previous Dremels I've had were stolen out of my toolboxes in the shed, so wasn't really happy about that. It was a birthday present from the wife, but I will say that it ended well in a way, I guess, because I ended up with this one, and will not be without one of these ever. At least I hope not. And they're cheap too. They're only $89, $90 Australian, which is a bargain. Okay, just putting it back into its holding bay. So, and this one can pretty much go in the bin. Fixing things. Do you want a spool, a 250 gram spool of 6040 solder, half millimeter diameter? I accidentally ordered one when I already had one. So I'm just coming to the end of my first reel that I had, which has lasted me about 12 years. And now I've got two of these, so I'll be hopefully out of the business before I need that one again. Motor Man, the laptop would just have to get a replacement screen. Fortunately, it's a combination um, glass and LCD. It costs about twice the price of the normal 15.6-inch displays. I can get them here in Australia at a good price, and so I'll just order one on Monday and I'll get them fixed up and on their way again. We also worked out how it may be that the damage happened in the first place that brought it in here, and that was we saw on the battery that was in it that there are um, very distinct screwdriver impact marks here where they've tried to jam it in to pull this thing out. What's curious though is I don't see any elongation on any of the latch retention holders, so yeah, I don't know how that worked, but yeah, but it's definitely very distinct damage. The only other thing I could think of as a possibility is maybe they tried to open up the pack, but I have my doubts about that. I would have expected to see that along the back rim. And it's pretty difficult to open these things up anyway because I think they're sonic welded most of the time. Maybe chemically welded. Alright, this guy's cactus. I should pull the battery out anyway. Oh, look at that. I mean, just corrosion all through that. You want to come out? You want to come out? I don't like the batteries in these things. Okay. Oh, good. Got a few here myself. Probably dead, but yeah, well, I'm feeling the same way fixing things. So, I'll find someone. There's probably some young chaps around here in town who want to get into electronics and whatnot. I'll donate it to them. I've already given away my old hot air and soldering stations that I don't use anymore. Acer E5-571 works great. I know Chris Long uses 852. Yeah, and the one I'm using is basically an 852 with a different faceplate, and that's basically it. Patrick, if you're looking, Patrick, are you in Australia or somewhere else? Sorry if I forget these things. If you're in Australia, then the one that I'm using is on sale at the moment at Element 14, which is Farnell, and they're selling it for about $200, which I paid $250, and I thought that was an absolute bargain for this. But $200 is just way cheap. I almost feel like I should buy another one, so I've got a spare. It's probably cheaper than a replacement element for Lewis's WH900 or his JBC. But yeah, Patrick, if you're in the States or something like that, then I've got the one that Chris Long uses and Jason of SDS. It's all in the description comments down below. I don't know, I haven't checked lately if the store still has them, but at least then once you know what the model is, you can run through and find it elsewhere. Oh, Patrick, you're in Queensland. Oh, okay, well, in that case, whereabouts in Queensland are you? In Brisbane? Yep, okay. You can go into the bin and you can, your spare parts. Actually, you're not really spare parts, you're way too far gone for spare parts. Right, Patrick, I'll show you the one that you can get from Element 14, and it's a good price. Let's see, here we go. Okay, Element. What? Don't give me the flipping AU bit at the end. Oh, that's right. Yes, no, you mentioned that before. Sorry about that, Patrick. Yes, in lovely Weeper. Considering I have got 28.6 megabit per second broadband, it still takes forever to load these sites up. Okay. Okay, Tenma. Hot air. Oh, come on, spacebar. This is not an endorsement. If you get anything through any of my links down below, then and if it goes through Amazon, then I do get a small commission out of it. But from Element 14, most certainly not. See, this is their normal price, $347. Here we go. This one. And they give you a free thingamajig. So, hang off the edge ball vice thingy that will always come loose and fall off when you least need it to. Yeah, CryJ, it's really bad. I can't blame it on the upstream. I'm uploading at 3.6 megabit per second. That leaves at least a good 1 megabit per second remaining. For the most part, this is the Element 14 site, as a general rule. Ah, for God's sake, it's taking forever. I may as well start. I'll put the screws back into this thing. Yeah, I'll just reassemble this absolute corrosion cluster stuff up. Come on. Who cares if it goes in properly? Okay, that's good enough. Seriously, you still haven't loaded? Come on. Let's try that again. I was glad this person didn't want their data. There we go. 4 total stock globally. They're all a week away, but $201. I mean, it's an absolute bargain, and they're good units. Jabara, 200 megabits down and 20 megabits up. Oh. Yeah, way to make a man jealous. Yeah, but CryJ, like I said, I mean, I may be encoding, but I'm only using, 75% of the capacity of the line. So it's not that. I wish I could blame it on that, but it's not. Once it's something to do with the routing or the DNS somewhere, because once everything's up and running, like if I do a download, I'll get 2.5, 3 megabyte a second on the download. Same with the upload, I get it pretty much full capacity. But yeah, on websites, no good. I can upgrade to a 140 line, so 10.4 megabyte. 10.4 about it. But I don't think there's really much point in me doing that at this point. So back to the customer with the not NFW tag. What's the NFW tag? Sorry, Lynn. Yeah, the speed's a theoretical max, but when I check the stats on the modem, it shows that it is synced at that rate, which again is still, and it shows me that the theoretical max of the line that I can get here is 80 down, 50 up. So that 50 up would be really nice. So could you run DNS bench? Yeah, I could. I don't know if I will. Patrick, okay, so that's the SS952BCF SMD, looks good. Yeah, that's the one that I've got. It works well. So there's it's got a diaphragm unit inside it. The heater element in the handle, obviously. The only thing, two things that I've done to it is I cut off that vacuum, this thing here, this vacuum air hose. I cut that off, and I also take the blimmin' handle off, so that I can then put things on top. Yeah, Crajo, well, I'm running with Google's 8888 and 8844. I should just run my own DNS mirror here, but I gotta admit I'm lazy. And it hasn't been bothering me too much until now. Fixing things now, I'm on VDSL. I'm on the dreaded green wart fiber to the node. Damn you, Malcolm Turnbull, you horrible bastard. It makes me cry that what happened to our network. So we were scheduled to get, I'm going to switch back to the bigger screens, sorry guys. Yep. We were scheduled to get fiber to the house for about, I think it was about 85-90% of the households in Australia. And everything was going all right. You know, it was a bit of a startup lag, which was kind of to be expected. And then we had a change of government, and they just raped the living daylights out of that idea. They said it's going to cost too much money, it's going to take too long. And now with their modification, which was to give us supposedly fast enough, sooner, cheaper, and now it's not fast enough, later, more expensive. I suppose you expect that from government projects sometimes. The worst thing is, I probably won't really be alive long enough to see the proper network ever come to fruition. Alright, this one's been worked with. It's clean inside, but I'm going to guess it's it's definitely a rebirth phone. You can see here, it's got 5S written up there, and the battery pull tabs, they're glued down here rather than the fold and tuck. That sticker is not supposed to be there that I'm aware of, or maybe it has drifted across. It's funny how you don't notice all these things. So I should have checked to see if this thing even worked. I was too busy talking to you guys. I was too busy raging about Malcolm Turnbull's crap network. Cryjar, I found Google actually wasn't the fastest. Yeah, I agree it's not the fastest. I guess it's more a case of I can always depend on it more than I can my ISPs. I was going to say, Patrick, if you were getting 3.7 megabit per second upload up there in Weeper, then you'd be a blessed man. Okay, this thing, I've got another 100 milliamps or so of charge. Nothing's coming up on the screen. Oh yeah, wait, no, I'm wrong. It does. The charge rate is way too low. So I've probably got a TriStar failure here, which is hilarious because I don't have the equipment to fix a TriStar. Which is even more hilarious because the 5S is one of those easy to fix TriStar phones. I can get the TriStar off, I can't put it back on. That's it. Fios in New York. Hi, I thought that was just lies. Why can't Lewis get Fios? Okay, it could be the battery failure or something. What have they done here? I don't know if I've got a puncture that's been covered over or it's just random. There is a little bit of a smudge mark on the battery just here, and it almost looks like someone covered over a nick. But usually if you get a nick in a battery, it doesn't tend to so much change the battery charge rate. The battery has a bad habit of saying it's full or never getting full, and then when you put load on it, it gives up. Uh, yeah, Patrick. Yeah, so if you are looking for a hot air station, that one's a pretty good compromise overall. And I mean, the price, that special probably runs out at the end of this month, I think, because that's part of the um, autumn catalogue or something like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the autumn catalogue. Ah, hmm, hmm, hmm. Okay. So I can't handle this spudger anymore. It's just too thick and mangled. I've got to get a proper one. Okay, I found my box of goodies. Alan, no, still no microscope. Takes a while to build up $1,000 around here. Every time I get a few, I do something dumb and I lose some money, which also is known as life in general. Okay, fresh virginal spudger complete with brutal tip that will hopefully not stab me in the eye. Overall the phone looks pretty clean, but it's definitely a rebirth, but no, it's clean. Might try put a fresh battery in and see what happens. Are you guys right if I'm just going to go check something for about 2 minutes and I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Did you find the scope you'll get next? Yeah, I'll be basically getting the same one that the likes of Jason and Lewis use. There's a yeah, and it just ends up working out to pretty close to 1,000 Australian bucks by the time you get them shipped here. It adds up pretty quick. I mean, the shipping is about $250, $300. Okay, come on. Ugh. You didn't show the chair, or is that a Rossman trademark? I thought it was an Eli trademark now. But I know Lewis uses it to taunt Eli. This battery has been a nuisance to try and get in because the flex doesn't like to go around. Broad flat flexes do not like going around corners. Okay, we're in. Finally. Okay, seems like I'm beating. Yeah, Mike, the shipping's typically about $290 now, and that's from Amscope directly. You can get them cheaper off eBay, but it works out the same, and personally I'd kind of rather work directly with Amscope rather than through an eBay reseller. Okay, I'm going to have to assume this is going to end up showing the person's screen. Oh, joy. Phone is disabled. Connect to iTunes. Okay. Anyone want to take a guess what's happened here and why it's disabled? I'm disabled. Alan, do you need to pay any import taxes in Australia when you buy expensive stuff from overseas? Here in Australia, currently at the moment, you can buy up to 1,000 Australian dollars worth of equipment without being charged any import duties or GST. GST is a goods and service tax for all stuff that we do in Australia, and it's 10%, which is quite cheap. That's used to replace all the sales tax things that we used to have, which was a colossal pain in the ass. And so people complain about the GST, but really it made life a lot easier for people trying to work out the prices on things. So yes, you can order up to $1,000 worth of stuff and not pay anything else on top, which is nice. I'm going to let this run for a little bit, but I have a feeling this is probably a TriStar. Hey Mako, quick visit. Yes, it's 10 to 2 in the morning. Good to know you know your times. I have. Oh, here we go. We're going up to 1 amp now. Maybe I'm wrong. What can sometimes happen is if the battery drops below a certain threshold, usually 3 volts, usually let's say 3 volts, the LiPo controller chip will do what we call a trickle charge mode first, where it will only deliver about 1/10 of the battery's capacity to try and get it, to see if it will float up to an acceptable level. Once it's above 3 volts or so, it's then safe for the charger to go along with the more typical full charge rate, like in this case 1 amp, until it gets to about the 50% mark, of course, and where it starts to taper off. So that may have been the case that the battery was just so low charged that it was into the trickle mode. However, the person mentioned to me that they'd obviously been trying to get this going, hence the iTunes lockout problem, which makes me think that perhaps maybe there is a problem with the battery. Here we go, round and round. You have an idea, and you test it out, and you get it wrong, and you change your idea. Motorman, I did a temporary flat flex repair by drawing the traces back on with a graphite pencil. Holy dooly, yeah. That's pretty crazy stuff there, Motorman. LCD broken, so falsely input ditches. Well, that's certainly one idea. Although, doesn't make it go that far into being disabled. I don't have a Windows machine here. It's still charging up. sorry, I apologise. That's worse than ultrasonic. I would. Yeah, I'm hoping that is what's happened, fixing things. I really do. Mako, no, what happened is I have to get a replacement LCD panel for that, and it's not one I have in stock because it's a combination touch and LCD in one fused unit, which I am thankful for. Funnily enough, I've got another laptop here that has separate LCD and touch system, and I gotta admit I do prefer the combo because if I crack that separate one on the bezel, it will cost me a hell of a lot more than this thing did. Jabara, my cat's jumped up now. What sort of cat do you have, Jabara? Let me have a look at that eBay one you've just put up there. eBay Co UK. So that one comes with the fluorescent light. 461 quid. Yeah, so that's going to work out. That's going to work out about $900 Australian after all the conversions and the transfer fees, whatever PayPal wants to chew out. So I'll probably still end up going straight for the M-scope directly. You could use the graphite pencil trick to overclock CPUs back in the day. Ah, yeah, that's correct, you could. Now I remember that. That was like 2000, 2002 time. Was that on the AMDs or the Intels or both? I can't remember. But yes, I remember that. Uh, oh man, I should just put the battery in, and though I can't see if there's any touch response. That's the problem. Okay, let's try that. I should be using my charge, the iPhone battery thing. Didn't realise how weak the pound was. Well, it's more a case of the Australian dollar being a bit on the weak side. We always have been. I mean, there was a couple of years where we were over $1. It doesn't happen very often. It's quite detrimental for Australia if our dollar gets too strong because we are predominantly a raw resource exporter. Because we're stupid, then we sold off all our manufacturing capability. And when we run out of those resources, we're going to be, what do we do now? Okay, looks like only that portion of the screen is working. I'll have to find myself a Windows machine. I have a Windows machine in the other room just for iTunes. Yes, Lynn, I've seen those Amscope clones. I do wonder whether they're not so much clones, but perhaps from the same factory, and they maybe didn't make the required tolerances. Pound has tanked since the whole Brexit vote. When are you guys going to sort that out? And aren't you guys planning on trying to leave again, like independence for Scotland? Lynn Nash, plenty of uranium to still sell. Well, that's true. Uh, but of course, the trouble is, I think nuclear power plants are on the downhill. I mean, we still need them to be able to make the isotopes for medical reasons, amongst many other things. But as power production, I'm not sure how many new ones we're going to see. I see they've scuttled the plans to open up a few more Westinghouse ones. I think it was in the United States just a couple of months ago. CryJ, when you run out of resources, you revert back to a penal colony. Oh, God help us. Yeah. Will iTunes not run in a virtual machine? It probably can run. I tried it once or twice. It didn't quite seem to go right, but that was using things like Wine or Play on Linux. I could try it in VirtualBox, which I use for a lot of other things. But overall, I have enough spare machines around here, so I have the one set up in the other room for this sort of thing. Uh, oh, hang on there. Ah, food is served, so I'm going to yabber while I drink. Kim Jong will buy it. Yeah, you probably will. Ah, sorry about all the drinking, eating noises. Yeah, Lynn, I wouldn't be surprised if the optics weren't as good. It makes sense because yeah, there's going to be tolerances in the all the assemblies for holding those lenses, and yeah, it makes sense that they sort of sell them off to a lower price rather than just binning them, I guess. Leslie I should say I. No, that's not right. We're trying to get away from Westminster folk. Yeah. Oh, folks starving here. What? Starting here? I can't work out if it's starting or starving. We're spending 200 billion on nuclear weapons. Holy crap. Good God. Yeah. Pizza for bed? No, this is a blueberry, raspberry, yogurt, and honey, manuka honey smoothie. Mm. That's pretty bad. So will things get better or worse if you guys get independence, Leslie? I mean, didn't you guys steal back the Blarney Stone? So isn't that all you need? Is it Blarney Stone or Blarney Stone? I can't remember. I do like these smoothies. They've got a nice sort of good slushy feel about them. They're really good, and they're made in the kitchen here. Not we don't buy them in this town. Nothing is like close to nothing in this town is open at this time in the morning. It's a pretty typical country town. 5 o'clock comes in the afternoon, and boom, everything's pretty much shut. Yeah, being deported is not much fun. Been there once. When I was in South Africa, there were issues with the renewal of my visa one year, some complicating factors, and yeah, so they turned up at my house one day, and I had to get in the paddy wagon, but it wasn't too bad. They said, "Look, just clean up your stuff. We'll give you 3 months and then you can leave. So it was actually quite nice of them to do it that way. So what's next? Scope? Yes, I've often contemplated putting a sort of like a, I'm trying to think of the term, kind of like a skill tree sort of thing, except instead of a skill tree, it'd be an equipment tree. And I was going to put it on all my videos and sort of demonstrate where I am on the tree. And so, yeah, right now the microscope is the next important thing. I have quite a few jobs, iPhone jobs, that are sitting around just waiting for me to get a microscope. I could ship them off to somewhere like, pardon me, I'm losing my voice at the moment. Uh, Ben Duffy, he's down south by a few thousand kilometres from here. So I could send him to him, but he's already flat out, and most of the other people I know are flat out. So it's a case of, well, it'll probably be quicker for me to get a microscope and do it myself. Unfortunately, I have a lot of spare phones, donor boards, things like that, so I'll be able to come up to speed with those before I actually touch the customer ones. Yeah, deporting people like that, it's I don't know. I think they just do that as for easy targets or something like that. But it's a bit ludicrous, detrimental to the country, particularly if those people have, yeah, if they've been there long enough and they've created, yeah, they've established themselves and whatnot. You don't know what the knock-on effect is going to be from that. So what's it like with the IRA over there nowadays? Are they even still a thing? Because I remember growing up that it was always on the news about how there were um, attacks, bombing attacks, and things like that going on. Thatcher was quite the special lady, I suppose you might say. Her and Reagan made an interesting couple. Motor Man says, still technically exists, very little activity, obviously presuming the IRA. Well, it's good to know. Right, yeah, that's often the case when you have these revolutionist type parties that exist for the sake of trying to bring about some sort of change. Is when they get that change, they really don't have a purpose after that. It's more dangerous if they become government themselves, which is what's happened over in South Africa. Was the ANC party, which is what Mandela was in. Once they got into power, uh, they were used to being a revolutionist party, and so things were fine for a little bit while everyone was doing the transitioning. But then after a while, it just sort of, the corruption came back in, and well, it came in quite severely. It still is. And at every election and almost every news article, it was always like they were fighting this unknown entity. They had to stay in this whole revolutionist mindset as if they were still not the elected party or anything like that. So if you go to any of their uh, political events and whatnot before an election, it's always about they're trying to rise up and take over. But it's like you already are the dominating party in the country, and they've been doing it for like quite a long time now. It's 20 years now. And slowly, finally, the country is starting to go, hang on there, things aren't quite right. It's nowhere near what, we don't have anything any better yet, so hopefully they'll have a change of government soon. Ooh, Isle of Man. Ooh, you guys talking about Isle of Man TT motorcycle race? Because, oh man. Yeah, Patrick, if, oh, here, since I'm just chewing on my delicious smoothie, pardon me, I'm burping it up. That's really pleasant. There we go, go back to this. No, I don't get time to really get round to bigclive.com. I even stopped watching Dave EE blog. Basically, it's Lewis, Jason, SDS, Chris, and Jessa. That's primarily. Oh, and Cody's lab. Uh, ah, where is it? If I go to my own YouTube page, it should be there. Power corrupts. Yes, an absolute power corrupts absolutely. But that's fundamentally it. You're right, Lynn. And that's what's happened is, these people, they finally got their rights back, and understandable. And then they just found it very cushy. They earned a lot of money and a lot of power, and, well, hey look, someone's live. Huh. No, if I click on that, I'll probably destroy the internet. That's why, if you're ever on the internet and you ever get the temptation, do not Google Google. It will break the internet. I wonder who's actually going to get that reference. Oh. Clive is trying to blow up batteries lately. Yeah, sort of blow one lithium polymer battery up. You've seen it. What the flippity? Ah, here we go. Show more. Da, da, da. Why is the microscope in the consumables section? Oh dear. Motorman 2112. Yes, you got it right. IT crowd. Jen. Come on, Jen. Very sad they didn't make more seasons of that. I thought it was rather brilliant. And I was sad that they didn't have more Richmond in it, but I understand that he was pretty busy with other commitments. Cry Jay, we'll just get Al Gore to fix it. Yeah. Oh, this internet is so slow. This really is like dial up. Like dial up when you had to plan ahead if you wanted to download a 100k file. And keep your eye on the keep your eye on the household phone to make sure no one picked up the other handset. Yes, Patrick, IT crowd is essential, required watching. I completely agree. Yeah, Vista, we're all gonna die. I think there's one scene in that show that made me laugh probably the most is in the second episode when Jen takes off her shoes for the first time. It just catches me out every time because you're not expecting it. And the other one is with the stress machine when Roy and Moss. Well, Moss is already sitting down, and Roy's was it no. Anyway, so yeah, when Moss crushes Roy's fingers in the chair, that was just too real. It's too real, Roy. Oh yeah, yeah, of course the internet box. We're all gonna die. I used to be a man. Uh, oh, I thought you said you were from Iran. No. Oh God. Yes. I'm gonna have to watch it now. I've got it in. I've got it on box set, so I'll have to watch it again. Alright, where's this microscope going? What is going on here? Why have I got nothing? Why? Why? What? Something's broken, I'm sorry. My favourite is when he sends the email about the ongoing fire. Oh yeah, so, fire! Exclamation mark. Fire! Exclamation mark. But yeah, definitely essential watching. Alright. Well, this looks like one of them. It's not the one I was planning on getting. I was planning on just getting the single arm base, but for the most part, it's that head that you really mostly want to care about. I don't know. My internet's too intermittent, but it's in my descriptions. You should be in there somewhere. Uh, he's not live streaming yet. I'm guessing you're talking about Jason, perhaps. Yeah, the problem that Jason's encountering right now is that he simply doesn't have enough upload speed. Uh, and it's going to be difficult for him to get more because of where he's situated. He's connecting through wireless. He may come up with something with his provider or whatever. Alright, iPhone, so I'm going to have to try, say. I guess I'm just going to have to put this into DFU mode and redo it. The person has said to me there's nothing on here of importance to them. So if I DFU mode it, put a new screen on it, probably a new battery. I have a suspicion that that battery has been punctured and covered up because it shouldn't have dropped down so quick. Oh well. So that pretty much, that's another hour or two, so I'm not going to do that online. I'd live stream, but I'm too ugly and way too quirky for that. I'd get slated. Well, you guys aren't slating me, so I'm pretty much in the same boat. Quirky and awkward is definitely something that you feel when you first get started. I absolutely 100% agree. A lot of it comes down to you just sort of get used to it after a while. And I think if you have a reasonable bit of equipment set up, like cameras, and yeah, if you feel comfortable with your setup, then that's a good start. And to be honest, I think it's a case of you just have to start doing them. I hate to keep quoting Lewis, but he does come out with some good things. The best way to get started is to just start. I mean, if I look back on my first couple of videos, they are really shoddy, but you just have to get them done. It's kind of like if you ever make pancakes, that first pancake is two is always really trashy, and then the rest come out much better. I could do with the proper microphone. This headset thing, it's got a very narrow, realistically, it's got a very narrow dynamic range. It really does sound to me as if I'm trying to talk over a telephone line. Yeah, Leslie, with Jason, it's STS Telecom. He's in my uh, he's in my list of people I follow and subscribe. He does a really good work. He's just one of those sort of chaps that everything seems quite precise. I mean, he makes mistakes like the rest of us, but he's got a very nice setup. Uh, he does really good work with his iPhone repairs. He's not overly pedantic, he's not overly OCD or anything, but he's just very meticulous, careful, he knows what he's doing, his work is clean. So, yeah, I enjoy watching him solve a lot of the iPhone problems. There's a lot of sibilance on the mic. Okay, Patrick, you're going to have to explain that word to me unless you want me to go Google it. And the other thing with Jason of STS Telecom, and this should help anyone else who's thinking about streaming, is, and I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, was very hard for him to start doing streaming, even recording videos. I mean, but he's if you look at his first couple of videos, you can see he's sort of talking very. You can sense the nervousness, and I mean, hell, I mean, I still am all the time too. But nowadays, he's really developed his own style and persona for online. He's just really comfortable now. I think he's probably more comfortable on the videos than he is probably in real life. I don't know. So, but he seems really calm and uh, in the groove, so to speak, when he does his new videos now. So hissiness on S sounds. That could well be just my voice, Motor Man. What's the best way to get rid of that? I was going to say, what do you call it? A bit of foam over the mic's not going to help because that only really does the low blowing sounds. I really need to get better equipment for that sort of thing. I am looking at, pardon me, I am looking at some wireless ones, but again, they're down on the list of things to buy. Microscope's right up there on the top. CryJ 2000, yes, social anxiety. I was talking about that yesterday. Yeah, exactly. And as far as I understand, it was quite crippling for him, and perhaps still is. And he's fought through that with his videos, and now he's very comfortable on the videos. I mean, obviously, we all get the butterflies to start with, so which is really good to see. So, and he produces excellent content. He was quite the introvert when he started. I'd say he probably still is quite the introvert. Yeah, that doesn't change too much, but certainly, he's found a way around it, and I think that's brilliant. I mean, I hope that doesn't sound too patronising or anything like that. I mean, it's brilliant. It seems like it comes with the territory with a lot of the people in the work that we're all doing, being anxious because let's face it, you're dealing with an unknown crowd of people when you're on YouTube, and I'm sure most of us have all had our fair share of trolls or people who seek to try and extract sort of like your energy from you. I don't want to sound too esoteric here or anything like that, but when you get those people that all they seem to want to do is not so much cut you down, but just to sort of suck the life force out of you for their own desire, their own sick pleasure. I only had a couple with my videos and whatnot, but it's the sort of person that we'd normally hide away from or just dodge in real life. But when you're on YouTube, you don't really get a choice; they come right at you. And certainly myself, I wouldn't say I have a bad social anxiety, but I do have anxiety issues, usually manifesting, well, just as anxiety disorder. There was a phase where things were quite bad. It got to the point where at one point I basically just had the complete shattering of breakdown sort of thing, and that took about 5-6 years to come back from. So without any um, assistant drugs or anything like that, it was a case of I had to remodel everything around in my life to make sure that I could claw my way out. Still am, but it's under control. Uh, it's a case of being able to manage your environment more. So working from home, doing your own work, helps quite a lot in that respect. Uh, there's a massive financial penalty when you have these sort of events happen, and I think that is probably mostly what I'm working against these days. S is a common problem for English speakers, so it's probably not all your mic. Oh, I have noticed in the videos that it comes bad. It comes out quite noticeably. So I would like to either find a way to modify my own speech to reduce that, or get a piece of equipment that helps alleviate it. Cry J, I was fortunate to get through my mid to late teens. Social awkwardness amongst high-level thinkers is apparently quite common, and I'm not surprised at all. I would tend to think that there would be a very strong correlation there. Fixing things. I have kids that do that. They suck the life out, and that's why I don't have kids. I have cats, and I've had dogs, and I've had other animals and things like that. But when it comes to human children, it's, yeah. If I was given a choice, no, I'm not going to have any. I mean, not that I would obviously have any person. Yeah, obviously being a male, adoption may be something I'd consider, but yeah, genetically replicating, not my thing. Leslie, yeah, I lost the plot in 2008. Bad year, being section, jail cells, hospital visits. Yeah, that's going to be rough. That's really going to be rough. Uh, won't really go into any details there, but the hospital visits and everything else, I felt like I was about this close from being sent off somewhere in the slammer. Not because I was doing anything wrong, like illegal per se, but for I was about 7-8 years behind on my tax returns, and it was a case of the anxiety was being caused by the requirement, yeah, the outstanding issues, which were inhibiting me from resolving that issue, like to get them done. In the end, I got lucky. I was able to find a way. I ended up getting them all done, but that was pretty rough. CryJ, I have furry children. Yep, furry children are the best. You can use a DS or VST plugin, but AUSE makes it sound like a lisp. Well, I wouldn't want to sound like I got a lisp. Fair enough. I might just try and learn to speak more eloquently. It's very difficult. They beat you up in public speaking, voice coach classes. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. The mic of the webcam was too woolly. I agree with you, Mako. I don't know what I did. Maybe when I first tried the microphone, it seemed okay on that webcam, and then I dropped it a couple of times because uh, the little tripod it comes with, pardon me, it doesn't flare out enough to ensure that the center of gravity doesn't go over beyond the stable rim. And so a few times it'd be right on the edge, and I'd just knock it and I'd go boonk along the table and fall over. And I've noticed since then that one of my channels, I think it's my left channel, is constantly about 3 dB down compared to the right. So I've done something. So either it's a bit of bad luck or it really does sound woolly. Leslie, yeah, I get it. Overwhelmed. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Overwhelmed. When I finished up from Africa, I started doing my commercial software more, and at that stage, I was producing email content filtering and management software, a package called Examime, and I was selling that everywhere globally, and it was doing well. I sold licenses to Virgin, to Parmalat Foods, to National Australia Bank, and there was a group over in the United States called Mailwise, and they bought a whole lot of licenses. Yeah, it was really doing well, but I found I wasn't able to handle the stress of waking up or being woken up at strange hours in the morning with phone calls from people saying, look, yeah, we found a bug or something's going on and we've got 10 million emails piled up in the queue and we need to try and fix it. So I did that as long as I could, but in the end, it was just too much, and I had to walk away from that, which is a shame because it was quite lucrative. I was getting about $2,500 per license, and then a renewal fee every year. So yeah, I found okay, I couldn't do that. So I moved over eventually to model aircraft retail, reselling, and doing electronics design for that sort of thing. But it really didn't produce the money. Yeah, it's fun, but you're not going to make $1 million out of that. In fact, you'll lose 1 million very quickly. Uh, and then so that added a new kind of anxiety on top, or new overbearing, and that was the financial problem. So then you stick the two together, and it was just too much. So after I went through the worst of the collapse, I came back and went back to my original sort of type of work, which is PC and electronics repair. And so I've been doing that for now the last 5, 6 years. And even though the town's small, it has been keeping me going. I got a few debts to clear up. It's surprising how expensive it is to live when you're not earning much money, and so you tend to fall back on the credit cards. They are hell. Let's see. Oh, so the tripod is shit on that webcam. Well, the tripod's okay if you extend the legs, but if you compact them back to the shortest possible distance, then it's going to fall over real quick. But if you do a full extension, or at least 2 segments extension, it'll be okay. Yeah, the sound is out of that mic. As you said, it's woolly. I'm disappointed with it. I tried it a few times, and it was unfortunate I didn't get to confirm that it really was good before I knocked it over a couple of times. Like I said, the fact that I've got one channel 3 dB down makes me think I did damage something in there. At least the video quality itself is good, so I'm happy about that. I'm really happy. I will gladly buy a couple more of these. Good mic does not automatically make good content of a vlog. That's true. But it would be nice to have something like what Lewis Rossman has, one of the DPA units and wireless. That was always the thing that got me with Lewis when I was reluctant to watch YouTube videos, that sort of thing. The fact that his voice came across so clearly, it was a winner for me. It got me. Credit cards are like vampires, damn right they are. Yeah. Unfortunately, sometimes you do have to fall back on them, particularly if you're a sole trader or you work for yourself. Banks won't give you any money because of the liability, well, not the risk aspect, particularly when you're just trying to get started. So you rely on the credit cards a lot, and then what happened is originally they were about 10% interest, but with the global financial collapse and pretty much all the housing market interest rates dropped down to what, 1, 2, 3%. The banks obviously decide they want their money still, so all the credit card rates started coming up, and now they're sitting at about 20%, which is just insane. So I spend most of the time paying out the interest more than the actual capital of it. And that's not the word I'm looking for, but anyway, principal. That's it. So I'm getting through them, but it's just taking a while. I'm cutting back on everything, or I have cut back on everything. So if you look around here, the curtains are tatty because they've been there. We don't replace those. Yeah, I mean it's not to say it's poverty here, but certainly all the luxuries you just cut them out. And when you're buying things for the business, it has to pretty much come back with a near guarantee of making a profit at the very least. Paul, it sounds like you're doing much better, and I'm glad you found. Oh, I'm glad I found it. Oh, you're welcome, Mike. No, it's all good. Yeah, it's when it comes to coming back from a breakdown, and I don't really like that term, but it is surprisingly scary. For me, all that happened was I just went to sleep feeling stressed one night, and then I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I legitimately thought I was just covered in blood. I wasn't, but the brain had gone on me, and I went to the mirror to check on myself, and I thought I saw myself walk away in the mirror. So, and at that point, everything just goes wrong in your head. Um, it's very difficult to explain. It's not something you really want anyone else to have to experience. It's not something that makes any sense. It's not like you completely lose. Yeah, you're not going cuckoo or anything like that. But it's just your brain not coping anymore. So you can jump onto various drugs like Zoloft and stuff like that, but for some people it doesn't work so well. I was one of those, and in the end, it was a book produced by, I'm trying to think of the chap's name now, um, Charles Linden was his name. Anyway, so I got this book, and it basically just says for some people you need to reorganize your life and keep yourself occupied and all that. It's a slow recovery process, like I said, 5 years for me, and but the upside is once you're through the worst of it, you can carry on with life without having to constantly juggle around with prescription drugs to keep you going. I mean, there are some people that need that, but I was lucky enough I was able to just do a reorganization of life and get through it. Okay, Mako, dinner time for you. I'll see you later. CryJar, Bank of the Credit Union, and my only credit card is with them. Fixed low rate. Mine were fixed low rate until they decided they need to renegotiate them. There are people doing prison time for loaning money lower than what credit cards charge. Seriously, Lynn? Wow, that's brutal. Yeah. Patrick Gill, good mic, equalization and compression. He had that engineering background. Yes, yeah. Oh, you're talking about Lewis. I take it with his engineering. It cracked me up the other day. I saw someone trying to lecture Lewis on different types of microphones, and this is a person that knew Lewis for quite a while. Well, yeah, a couple of months at least. And they're trying to tell Lewis about audio equipment. I thought it was a cracker. It's like, wow, why? I mean, I could understand if it was something obscure, but fundamental microphone types? Really? Anyway. Alright, well, I'm pretty much done. This one here I'm going to put onto iTunes and see if DFU reset will fix that. And if it does, then we'll just put a new screen on it and new battery. Pardon me. Although before I put a new battery in it, I will check that it isn't the tri-style. Make sure it goes through a full charge and discharge cycle process without issues. Loan sharking used to be between 10 and 15. Yeah, the loan sharks. And yeah. And here's the banks hitting us with 20% plus. Last time I saw 20% plus was 22% in South Africa, and that was when the economy was completely crap. And I thought that was daylight robbery. And people were accepting it, and now here we have it in Australia of all places, 20%. It's ridiculous. I use Reaper and VB audio cable to insert VST plugins on my mic for Skype and gaming. I don't know if that works on the Linux OBS, so yeah, I'm not sure. So, plus, I'm not sure how close I am to pushing this laptop to its limits. It's showing me 45% CPU. I don't know how true that is. Sometimes you can do a balance transfer for 0% 12 months here in the States. Yeah, I tried to chase up a lot of those, but unfortunately, what happened is things just have pushed out too far. And when the banks evaluate my credit situation, they kind of, on the one hand, they don't want to see me come off the 20% because I'm paying that. And so, why would they accept a lower rate when they know that I can pay the 20%? And the other is, of course, the risk factor. No one wants to reacquire that new high risk situation with me if they sell out to another bank. So, the first phase of the financial fix ups should finish later this year. And after that, then everything should progress a lot quicker. It's just been a very by the skin of the teeth with the wolf right on my back for the last 4 or 5 years. But it's almost over. In a couple of months, things will be much, much better. Lynn, really like your live streams. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm worried I'm yabbering on a bit here because I'm not really doing any technical work, and I apologise for that. I suppose at least if it's not what you're interested in, people can just walk away. That's a nice thing about YouTube. Damn it, autofill busted again. Don't click on the links in mod delete messages. That's what fucked it. Oh no. Alright. Okay, well look, it's 20 to 3 in the morning. I really need to finish up. I've got some other things I've got to sort out before I go to bed. I appreciate everything that everyone's come along and said and shared, and sorry the LCD on the laptop was a disaster at the start, but I guess I will, as others have said, at least that stops them from making the same mistake. And so hopefully if anyone watches, I'll put it into the comments that it is for this particular laptop. So hopefully it'll be something that comes up when everyone searches for that laptop again. So I guess, yeah, there you go. It was useful in the end. We're probably keeping up. I wish that was true. But no, 2, 3 o'clock is pretty normal for me. And then I don't start my business day until 11 in the morning. So, okay, I'm out of here. I really appreciate everyone being here. Thank you very much for listening this whole time and giving me your feedback. I will see you whenever I happen to do another job. I'll leave in the comments how these things go, and maybe I'll do a stream for when the new LCD panel comes in and I can breathe a sigh of relief and that's all fixed up. Yes, must feed the cat. Thank you very much, Lynn. Okay.